Official. We circled this game before the season started. It's underway here at Bryce Stadium. Two of the best programs in college soccer. They play a fun, attacking style. Expect to see goals. Last year, Wake Forest won at Clemson 6-1. But then Clemson returned the favor in that ACC semifinal here at Bryce Stadium, knocking off Wake Forest 2-0. On the ball, striding forward. Could be an early opportunity here as Liam O'Gara lays it off to Jelani Forbes. Sean Smart on the ball, the sophomore, to Nathan Richmond, another sophomore. Almost a turnover by Gibert in a dangerous place there. Gibert, excuse me. Arthur Duquesne charging forward, back to Elton Chifamba. There's Gibert, Jael Gibert. Two Oregon State transfers, an errant pass there from Sean Smart. Cooper Flax controls it, back to Prince and Ponce. Devin, as you're looking at this match early on, what are some of the keys to kind of settling in here?
The difference between Clemson right now and the Clemson of last year that we talked about in the Open is they don't need as much of the ball. But when you have to chase this much, a lot of times you get frustrated. Can they remain calm as Wake have the ball and go side to side? And then Wake, do they take the bait? With that transitional style that we see out of the Clemson Tigers, they're almost goading you to play in behind. But if you don't get it right the first time, you've now opened yourself up, and defensively, you've got to transition together. It's something that Wake has really been working on this season.
Like Coach Bobby Muse told us that today. We've got to be aware in those transitional moments. You cannot give it away in bad spots. This is the way Wake wants to play. They want to put the ball down on the deck. And combined with one other, Bo Cummings trying to play it forward to Colin Thomas. And Thomas wins that foot race. He's got Mitchell in the middle. Still Thomas. He clips it in toward the back post, but Forbes had already tucked in. And Sean Smart, shoulder to shoulder, nicely done, ushers it out. Nathan Richmond on the ball. The sophomore, his dad, was part of the '87 national championship team, and Mitchell wants a call, not going to get it. Gibert takes a heavy shot and goes down.
What an incredible addition he's been to this Clemson Tigers midfield. Jordan Gibert, he transferred from Oregon State, 12th Player of the Year last season, and don't expect him to light it up statistically. Only 2 goals and 3 assists in his tenure there, though he does have 2 goals and 1 assist. It's more about control. It's his ability to sit underneath, just move this thing side to side. But where he excels the most for this team, not just locking down space, but coming the other way, the distribution. 30, 40-yard balls going a diagonal to allow them to step up.
Usman Silla almost tracked it down, Trace off and off his line. Getting his 9th start in 9 matches to Corral, the junior from Carolina. I guess I have to say North Carolina, but people listening, most of them. It's a little bit of a battle down here.
Say that in the wrong part.
I'm aware.
You're going to be ushered out of this
South
place.
Carolina fans really like to let you know.
That's right.
Garrison Tubbs on it. Talked about him in the Open. Back to Prince and Ponce. 2 senior center backs, and Richmond's pressure does pay off. Clips it back to Smart. Silla on the ball, one of the most creative players in the league. Adam Lundegaard steps forward, out to Duquesne. Very much a French feel on this team. 3 different French starters, and that's Pop Marboy, the Senegalese center back. Out to Smart. Drives it in. Nobody home.
Let's stay with Usman Silla, though. Number 10 for the Clemson Tigers. You and I were discussing what the look would be on that front line coming in. In the absence of Mohamed Said, their 9, who was injured, they had to tweak their shape a little bit, and that's specifically on that front line. So Mike Noonan, the head coach of Clemson, talks about Usman Silla getting up high and allowing him to challenge from those locations offensively. One of the issues you're going to run into tonight, though, is you would have him matched up regularly against Garrison Tubbs, who will track it. He will shut that space down. By putting him out there on the left, you let him float. And that's the area over the past 2 seasons, including the year they won the national title in 21, where he excelled the most. Off the left flank, dropping down underneath, just like that.
They're still on it now. He's dangerous on that right foot. Alfred equal to the task.
This is the space, though, because as he comes, Arthur Duquesne on the left-hand flank, he'll lock that down defensively. But Usman Silla just drifting into that pocket. It allows him to float and play off of everybody. So Nathan Richmond can stretch it with his speed on the right. Alex Meinhard back to goal in the pocket, can turn and go one-on-one. But Usman Silla, that dynamic playmaker, can kind of have the freedom to do whatever he wants.
Wake Forest struggling a little bit to play out that press. Turned over again to Smart. Finds Elton Chifamba. Midfield, he's dispossessed. Could Mitchell be off to the races? Working on Marboy.
Good defender.
You really like, you're big on him, the freshman.
He's impressive. First of all, there's no chance, regardless of what the program guide says, that he's 6'1". Let's get that out of the way.
He's a strong dude, man.
But he's very strong. He's got a quickness about him, but also a first step. A lot of people that anywhere 6'1" to 6'5", Dallin, you know, in basketball, some guys just don't have that first step as quick as others, and specifically on the soccer field.
One, but he gets there.
Yeah, he gets there, and then you just saw the one-on-one defending for a freshman who's just come in to be matched up and lock that space down. Beyond impressive.
You mentioned injuries to Mohamed Say, a young man, now a grad student from Spain. 74 games played, 22 goals, 15 assists in his career, 6'3", big physical striker. Everybody in the league knows him. Not available. And Brandon Parrish, a stalwart in the middle, who'd really been playing well, scoring in his last two matches, out injured. Two of his last three matches, out injured now. Both of them expected to return at some point during the season, but not available now. Jelani Forbes trying to get on his pass from Cooper Flax. It's back to Joseph Andema, the sophomore keeper. Pings it out. Jabay trying to find Duquesne. Nicely pinged to Silla. He's got Richmond to his right. Silla skipping past Liam O'Gara. Freshman from Winston-Salem, local product on the ball. Back to Christian Escobrano. Garrison Tubbs, all-league player last year, second team All-ACC. There are 5 All-ACC selections, first, second, or third team, back for this Wake Forest crew. Good step by Escobrano. Pretty abnormal for Bobby Buse to have this many returning players, Devin. This has not been normal in recent years, with so much talent coming in and then going through the pro ranks in some regard.
Well, now you have the ability, with as much success as you see from these academy players. They come in 1 year, Generation Adidas, or third, fourth year, all of a sudden entering the MLS Super Draft, or just deciding they want to go abroad, right? I mean, you look at a guy like Ian Harkes, who won the Mac Herman Award for Wake Forest just a few short seasons ago, getting a chance to go to Europe.
Meinhard, two-time American Athletic Conference, AAC Offensive Player of the Year. As we mentioned, Bobby Buse, 9th season at Wake Forest. Over that tenure, the most wins in Division I soccer, 133. That's in the country. 4 straight Coach of the Years during his tenure. They've been to 12 straight tournament appearances as a program. That's the most in the ACC. Bobby's been at the helm for 9 of them. Mitchell back to O'Gara. Oh, bad pass again. Richmond 1v1 with Ponsa. Richmond, nice step over. Shot deflected.
Good recovery defending, though, even with the ball given away, because that's, look, we're 9 minutes into this match. It's the 3rd time that Wake Forest, coming off their back line, has just gifted it to the Clemson Tigers. But no panic by Prince Mponsa. Watch the center back, just wide legs, angles it to try and push Nathan Richmond to the side, and steps in at the appropriate time.
Undergard stepping forward. He just puts too much on the pass to Duquesne. And Mike Noonan made the point to us, the Clemson coach, that they got to possess the ball better. And we talked about their transition game being good. But Coach Noonan, in his 14th year, he's 6th amongst active coaches in Division I. Obviously won the 21 national championship, were runner-up in 15, ACC tournament 20, ultra successful. But they do need to possess the ball better. It's one of the key things this team needs to work on.
Well, he's got a couple of different levels to that conversation. And the first part is coming in, he didn't know what their structure was going to be. Yeah. Are we going to play a 3, a 4? Who's going to start in the 9? Probably still doesn't have all of those answers in terms of personnel, but he does have his structure. The other part of that is 14 new players coming into the system this year, 4 transfers and 10 freshmen. Now, you've got 5 in the starting 11 tonight, but that takes time. It doesn't matter if you've got an Alex Meinhard, who's the American Player of the Year and Offensive Player of the Year as well, a guy who's put up 30-plus goals in his career. ACC play is different. Clemson is different. The understanding of what it is to put that badge on your crest or on your chest is a very difficult thing to get into right away. So the rhythm hasn't exactly been as fluent as he'd like it to be, but the recent performances has shown otherwise. They're really starting to gel together, and the second part of that would be down. You go from being a team that possesses to being wide open. Trying to intermingle that together is a very difficult thing, and that's the other process that they're trying to strive their way through.
A lot of these players weren't on campus till August, and, days before preseason. As Joubert steps forward. Chifamba in the starting lineup for the injured Brandon Parrish, but Chifamba's logged a lot of minutes in his day. Sean Smart finds Richmond, who stayed on side. Pinged over to Lundegaard. Silla. Pass to Meinhard, off the mark. Bo Cummings back to Alphen. And he just kind of boots it out. Tigers will possess again.
Did you bring this weather with you? It's delightful, by the way. I thank you for this one.
Yeah. You're going to be complaining about how cold it is in 2 weeks, Florida boy.
Oh, this is...
Falls are coming.
I bust out the different wardrobe. I'll be happy.
Psst, Richmond can't get there. But it is a beautiful night here. Crispy. Mid-60s. The wind was really windy early today, but it's not really as windy tonight. And I know coaches were a little concerned about that. Bobby mentioned if it's 25, 30-mile-an-hour winds, how that impacts some of the way they play. But we're not seeing that.
I probably prefer some of that wind behind them right now, the way some of the balls are being sprayed all over. This is,
good point,
respectfully, one of the more inconsistent starts, to be fair, for both teams that either manager has seen this season. Trying to find their footing and getting that overall cleverness about them that has seen them become so successful. Again, Clemson, 2021 national champs. Wake just 5 years removed from the 2019 College Cup.
Lundegaard stepping away from Colin Thomas. Bo Cummings intercepts, O'Gara on it. Controls back to Mpansa, the New York City product. Escribano.
You watch defensively. We talked about what Usman Silla will do on the attacking side and the way he floats, what they're doing defensively with him when they rotate him back in. He gets in front of Chifamba. All of a sudden, there's a triangle doing a really good job of eliminating guys like Cooper Flax and Jose Kajima in the midfield. O'Gara all by his lonesome, so everything's out on the exterior for Wake Forest right now.
Forbes wins a corner, though. And we'll see if they can capitalize. This has been a bugaboo for Clemson, for Wake Forest on the other side. Wake Forest allowed 8 goals this year, 7 off of set pieces. Can they turn the screws here and capitalize early on in this match in the first corner as Cooper Flax strides over to take it? A sophomore from Dix Hills out in Long Island, New York. New York City FC Academy. Matt Thompson focused on the physical play there. In swinging ball, and Dama gets his hands to it. Silla missed clearance. Thomas. Escribano playing it back out wide to Mpansa, the center back. Lundegaard finally clears. Kajima on it. Kajima dealing with a little bit of an illness, under the weather, but does get the start tonight. We'll see how long he can go.
Oh boy, was still in the weight room this morning. Respect that.
He was in the weight room, said, I'm going to be good to go, coach. And he showing that. He is a difference maker in their central midfield. Creative, strong, good two-way player. Good control by Flax to handle that pass. Escribano looking for Thomas, and Andema, the sophomore, up his line to capture. Accra, Ghana native Andema. Quick distribution, we talked about that. They let it go in the other way, and Andema's got his head up like a point guard right away.
was trying to usher it forward quickly, but a little credit to Wake Forest, who immediately stepped off of that. And that's the other thing here is, if you get your line high, possession or not, against this Clemson team, you're bouncing back and forth side to side. The immediate turnover has to be offensive defending coming the other direction, meaning your backline's got to drop, your midfield has to drop. Although certainly hasn't been clinical coming forward for Wake Forest defensively. They have recovered nicely.
Switch of play out to Sean Smart, working on Forbes. Richmond looking back post. Minard can't get there. Battle with Tubbs. That ain't easy. Bo Cummings trying to track it down. He does. O'Gara. Ponce's pass was long, sent Escribano's reaching, but Smart clipped him. Sophomore, another Montverde product. Sean Smart is factory of athletes in Florida coming out of there in all sports, but big pipeline for Mike Noonan and his crew. But Johnny Forbes, 14 for Wake Forest, knows something about that. Former Montverde guy himself.
Somehow they always end up in Tiger Orange. You notice that?
It's direct pipeline, man. You could go through the list, whether it's Silla, Hamidi Diop. These are all league players. Justin Malou, and then future pros that we're talking about, too.
Hamidi Diop, the #1 overall MLS Super Draft pick last season.
Escribano cutting it back to Kajima. O'Gara. Interesting idea. You talked about Clemson and them still trying to figure things out. Bobby Muse in Wake Forest is doing it as well. And we'll talk about this more at halftime as Rold Mitchell kind of pulls on Adam Lundegaard. You know, this ACC, nobody's really separated. Most coaches you talk to are still trying to figure it out, whether it's the transfer portal, a lot of freshmen. It seems like there's a lot of teams that, a lot of coaches still have questions about their team. I'm going to pose the question to you, who you believe in. We'll talk about that at halftime a little bit more. Because it is the best conference in college soccer. 5 teams ranked, 6 in the top 20 in the RPI, but who has that staying power, that College Cup potential, that national championship potential, as the last 2 national champs are out of this league? We're wondering. O'Gara, good steal, and then Mitchell's just kind of dragged down by Lundegaard. That's gonna be a yellow, I would assume. And
beautiful tackle first off by O'Gara, Winston-Salem native, and then just keep an eye with the space high there for Clemson. One thing you will get out of this back 3 is that man right there, Adam Lundegaard. The young man will step up in and he will help out defensively and try and help maintain possession. He's basically trying to lure in the first line, but as they come, then all of a sudden he leaves space behind. So it's on Pop Marboy to shift back over, or you need Arthur Duquesne to drop in and help out.
Redshirt sophomore goes into the book, a center back with a yellow 18 minutes in. Never ideal if you're a Tiger fan. Into the feet of Mitchell. Back to Ndema. And with dead ball here. We'll have the dead ball. I'll tell you about women's sports. They take over every afternoon on Sundays right here on ACC Network, and this will work. They'll start noon Eastern on this Sunday with soccer. Number 16 Duke squares off against number 22 Virginia. Then it's volleyball doubleheader. Florida State hosts Duke, and we cap the afternoon off with 5th-ranked Louisville and NC State in Raleigh at 4 Eastern. Minard trying to turn the corner on Tubbs. And appeals for penalty, not going to get that. Matt Thompson waved it right away. Now this is a corner kick, and as we mentioned again, 8 goals conceded by the Deeks, 7 from set pieces. They have struggled with this. We'll see if they can defend it.
Once again, though, Garrison Tubbs, just the recovery defending. He is very good. We can pay a lot of credit to Button Marboy, the freshman on the Clemson Tigers, in the middle of that back 3. But Garrison Tubbs, excellent closing space.
Matt Thompson again, just like in the first corner, Trying to clean things up in the middle of the area here.
You'll notice both Tubbs and Marboy matched up against each other. That's
a lot
more like it.
It's a lot of man right there.
Whew.
Silla with the in-swinging ball. Marboy did get up. Couldn't get his head on it. And Devin, we talked about this. When you're playing, and hold that thought. We'll see as Meinhardt talked about how to and practice and work on these set piece issues. It's just something you can't practice for. As the more you do it, it gets in guys' heads as Meinhardt walks offside.
Yeah, they started to go into the direction of something called the Minute of Mayhem, where they take a group and they do 2v8. So what that means is you've got two attackers running against 8 and just trying to find a way to track guys. And they switch it up. You go 60 different seconds. It's hard crosses being whipped back into the box, balls from the corner, set pieces, but it sets a tone. And the idea behind it is, regardless of where the runs are coming from, you got to maintain confidence, because it gets into an area where you can only lead them so much to water. They got to learn to drink on their own, and especially at such a young age, you can't continue to batter them, because mentally they're fragile. I mean, any person in general is fragile for sure, but these young men that are still developing as people, you got to find a way. You show them the X's and O's, you reinforce it, but then they got to go and fight that battle themselves.
Yeah, I like it. There are certain guys that are great shooters that can't make free throws, and it becomes a mental battle, and you deal with coaches all the time. So what do, coach? Do you have him shoot more free throws, less free throws? Like, what do you? The same thing. How do you balance it?
In the office talking to you? Are you leaving it alone? Let him sit by his locker?
It sounds like you try a bit of all of it, and hopefully some of it works. But it's so far 1 for 1 in terms of Wake shutting down a set piece early in this match. And Ponsa drives it out to Bo Cummings. A couple subs getting ready for the Deeks. Nice pocket of space for Flax. He gives it a ride right into the belly of Van Dema.
Much better, though. No panic. This is going to be a horizontal thing for them. How quickly can they move from side to side and then challenge these center spots? And that's where you're looking for Kajima and Cooper Flax to get involved. Would have liked to have seen that head just peek over the left side, because Jelani Forbes made a really good run, as did the back shoulder of Rold Mitchell, who dragged all that space with him. Recognize you're going to have a little pivot here as this substitution's getting ready to come on, where Escorbano, who is also on the backside, is going to go to the right back spot, most likely, I would guess.
Boy on the ball, back to Lundergaard. Duquesne. Meinhardt. Drop it a little more. Boy looking for Smart. Nice job by Smart to get turned, and no goal kick. We got a couple subs coming in. So Baba Niang checks in, dynamic goal scorer. He comes in for Jelani Forbes. And you've also got Sidney Paris checking in, the junior from Ontario, transferred from Navy, was a first-team All-Patriot League player in 21. Also plays for the Puerto Rican national team. When he comes in, this team, take us through the shape difference and the changes when he comes in.
Well, first you got to start with the fact that Sidney Paris is healthy, most importantly, because he was the starting left back earlier on this season with Jelani Forbes in front of him. In his absence, Forbes had to come deeper. With him back, he comes to the left back position. Christian Escorbano, who also was injured coming into the year, he was at the left side. Now he's going to go over to the right. They're trying to work through some things with Bo Cummins, who had a great start to the season, and that consistency just hasn't been there as much. You saw a lot of the attacks so far for Clemson. As they work, they're moving to that far left side, so they're trying to lock that space down. And also with Baba Niang, this is going to give you an extra body in the midfield, which they've been lacking.
There's Niang popping it forward to Mitchell. Leading goal scorer in the ACC, second in the country, 7 goals. Lays it off to O'Gara. He's got Escorbano arriving. O'Gara, nice touch to the feet of Flax. Flax out to Thomas. His pass dragged him wide.
Mismatch on the back post with Baba Niang. They can get it in.
Kajima. Here's Paris. Oh, skips past Richmond, draws the foul. He's really elusive. Smart player, too.
The best thing about Sidney Paris is It's not that he can do something, it's that he knows when to go. You know, right? You have a lot of left backs who get into situations like this who think, okay, I have to keep it to the outside, or, you know what, let me slow the game down, and they're doing it inappropriately or to a fault. It's not the case with Sidney Paris. He knows that in that specific spot, as deep and as flat as Clemson was, he had the ability to cut back in and challenge to the interior.
Paris, 22, plays with the senior national team of Puerto Rico. World Cup qualifiers upcoming. Could be involved as Flax takes this free kick, pings it back post. Tubbs was there, but well done by Meinhardt. Escobar just pipes it back in, and Dama's off his line to claim. Underguard back to his favorite left foot to try to deliver a pass. Tried to find Duquesne. Mitchell trying to turn. Oh boy, that is a great matchup, huh?
He is. I'm telling you, this kid he's brewing. He's something special. He's the type of player that if you're Mike Noonan, you're so excited to have your hands on him and help develop him. But you don't know how long it's going to be because he's not going to be here very long. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about one of the more conversed players when it comes to scouting reports enrolled Mitchell, and so far 3 separate instances, Patmar Boy has shut him down in the 9 spot.
There's the big freshman on the ball. Dakar, Senegal, 6'1" and strong.
Move it, move it, move it.
Silla dropping a lot deeper there. 10 to get on the ball. He's on it there. Jubei. Smart skips by off the deflection. Richmond's got numbers in the box. Plays it forward to Smart. On the cutback, can't get it off.
This is what Mike Noonan's talking about, where they can't always go end to end, and when Wake Forest sits deeper, and other opponents are going to see the scouting report too. If you have to slow things down, where's your patience going to be? That's the most efficient build that I've seen out of Clemson this season, when they've transferred into the 3-back system, and you can just, there's great coaching coming on from the sideline from both Mike Noonan of Clemson as well as Bobby Musa and his staff from Wake Forest.
Vlad Wallen checks in. The sophomore replaces Colin Thomas. And then Jake Swallen, senior, back in the mix. Good to see him. Injured last year. Swallen on the ball now. Missed all of last campaign. The redshirt senior back in action. Was a 3rd-team All-League player back in 2021. Really adds something. I know you're a big fan of his, Devins, when he comes on the pitch.
It just works, man. He's a guy that does all the dirty work, but he's got a little bit of flash to him in the final third. Nice cut.
Good touch by Mitchell. Tried to find Swallen. Eventually gets there. To Niang, and flags up.
Jake Swallen, the prototypical box-to-box guy, as people like to say, and again, he'll dig in right at the on top of his 18 and then come in the other direction. He's not afraid to chase. He will drop the gear. He's got a big engine, and you're just, number one, happy to see him healthy. Number two, you wonder what it looks like in a couple of games or a couple of weeks, because rehabbing is one thing. Getting up to game tempo and 90-minute conditioning is a whole nother conversation. Yep.
In his 5th appearance of the season now in their 9th game. And this is where some of the depth, in Wake Forest has made 4 changes already. Clemson's made none. But again, Clemson's got a couple injuries. Titus Sandy, a defender injured as well. No communication there between Duquesne and Silla. Nobody pursued the ball, but they find a way to get on it. Chifumba trying to find Silla, can't. Kojima. Niang dispossessed. Silla looking to go. Finding the feet of Meinhardt almost, but good recovery. And Tubbs just has to play it out.
There's a nice little love tap there from Prince M. Ponce on Alex Meinhardt he got away with. It's the little things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you say? How you do? How do you do? Smart with the throw. Sophomore from Apopka, Florida.
No. Out, man right.
O'Gara striding forward out of his own box. Confidently finds Niang. Left it a little long. Gibert is able to make a nice defensive play. Gibert struggling a little bit. He's actually gone to the crouch. You can see him in the bottom part of your screen there. Grad student from France. Again, the Oregon State transfer, two-time Pac-12 all-conference player. Started every game so far this season for Mike Noonan's crew.
The last thing you want to think about right now is having to pull Dawson Malcolm off the bench, and that's not a knock on Dawson Malcolm. It's the fact that that guy right there never leaves the field to play.
And as Mike Noonan without Titus, that would probably be a Titus Sandy situation, who got a little more reps last year, a little more comfort. Injured, though.
Bingo. Maybe just caught a little bit of a knock with dust up with Babanyang. This is going to be a fun matchup, though. Moving Babanyang out here on the left, all of a sudden, he's so good, Babanyang, at finding these half spaces, and he's done so far in between Sean Smart and the back line, and then he starts to drift in a little bit, so you have to make a decision if you want to track or not.
Good crowd on hand here at Spry Stadium. It's family weekend here at Wake Forest, so every athletic team is home. Hotel's loving that, I'm sure. But it's a great crowd, good environment here on Winston-Salem. Spry commonly top 10 of the nation in attendance, 7 straight seasons being in that spot, top 10. Moved out to Escribano. O'Gara can't get there. Nice feet by Gibet. Out wide to Duquesne. O'Gara can't clear. Out for another throw. Smart glides by Paris. He had Silla making the run. Pass did not connect. And a lot of contact there. Card is in hand. And Silla's going to get the second card of the match. Quick restart pulled back by Matt Thompson.
This is what we talked about earlier from Sidney Paris, where it doesn't really matter where it's out on the field. He knows when to pull up, and to be fair, the ball shouldn't have been played through by Kajima, and he's really lucky, because this could have been the way that he turns on the back, his ankle. To be fair, Silla, he's not trying to make anything negligent out of that situation. He's just trying to get a little touch on the ball. That right there, though, if they can find a way, that initial press, that's the biggest difference of what Wake Forest is going to experience tonight compared to the draw against Syracuse the other night. Syracuse just chases you all over the field. It's relentless, never-ending, however you want to say it. Clemson will back off a little bit when they're beat.
Marboy is down. On goes Niang. He is still down. The center back laying on the pitch. I think Matt Thompson sees him now, and yes, Thompson's going to stop play. Now they were going backwards. That is not good. Got tangled up with Rold Mitchell. And immediately training staff is out to check on the freshman.
Kind of similar to the challenge we just saw on the other side between Usman Silla on Sidney Paris. Just watch his ankle up underneath him. I will tell you the hope, though, because I've been there. Quick little pop. It kind of leaves a lasting effect for a couple of minutes. And then the hope in this situation is that for Patmar Boy, that you feel that quick little jostle, and you're just looking, let's test the strength of it. Are we able to hold it all together and get him up and get him moving again?
Mike Duna makes his way out. And those of you that are just tuning in terms of college soccer, he can be substituted out. Return to the match. His day is not over if he's okay, but let's just hope he's okay. And they're going to get him up. And see if he can walk on his own power. That's test number 1. And he is struggling. Freshman from Senegal, difference maker on this back line. Has started every game so far this year. And we talk about Rold Mitchell, the leading goal scorer in the ACC in this battle. He's won those battles 1v1 throughout the course of this day so far.
And pretty much everything that we've seen. Let's go him one-on-one with Rold Mitchell. This was actually prior in the net. Great header to clear off the line. And again, just slowing down the long legs of Rold Mitchell out in open space. You get a center back out in open space. This is what any coach is going to tell you. It's how do you make sure that if they're flat-footed or face front against the attacker, that they're able to slow them down. Patmar Boy has answered the call all night long.
And we'll see if he can go. And that's Mohamed Say, another one of the injured players, standing there talking to him in all black. A grad student. He's played 74 games for the Tigers. Integral part of that championship team in 21.
And there was sadness in Mike Noonan's voice talking to him yesterday about some of the players that he's lost so far. Said the injury bug has got us. I'm not so sure that he envisioned that he was going to be in a position to possibly have to call on someone other than number 2 and Patmar Boy in the middle of that back line.
Well, they're trying to set themselves up now, and they've got Jabay is kind of dropped into the middle, and we'll see if a sub is going to be made. There's conversation about it, because if he is subbed in the first half, he cannot re-enter in this half. He could wait till the second half. Those are the key injuries mentioned already. We just showed you same. Brandon Parrish as well.
And those are just the ones that appeared this year.
Yeah,
doesn't even include the guys that didn't even make it to season.
And they were, whether it's Marco Garcia, another attacker that's out. We mentioned Titus Sandy, but now this is the first sub of the game is made. Terry Watson checks in, the sophomore, only his 3rd appearance as a Tiger. This is a big spot for him to drop into. Columbia, South Carolina native. Leo Guarino also checked in, the sophomore from East Rockaway, New York, 11. Replacing Rold Mitchell. Escribano. Paris playing the channel to Niang. And Smart does well. Get a break in the action. We'll tell you about what week 4 we have on ACC Network in terms of football. Starts tomorrow at noon Eastern. Syracuse hosting Army. Then BC squares off against Louisville. And we'll cap the night off with number 17 North Carolina and Pitt at Acrisure Stadium. 8 p.m. All 3 games available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Of course, that dinked ball forward. Guarino pokes it back. Opportunity, Kojima! Deflected. Swallow keeps it in. He wants a foul, no call. Wallent, ACC all-freshman team last year, working on the right flank. Back to great ball. Wallent is there again. Silla, nice back heel, clever to Meinhard. Excuse me, that was Chifamba. Guarino. Plays it back to a dangerous area, but nobody really there at the top of the box. Poor pass by Silla. Niang. Out to Paris. Guarino flips it over to Kojima. Oh, wayward pass ends the attack. Let's take a look. Kojima, good opportunity.
It's better, though, by Wake Forest. Wonder if this caught the hand right there, possibly of Leo Guarino. But regardless, notice the amount of bodies they've got high now. This has been one of the main things they've been dealing with in the first half is when they do start to go in transition, or if they're in build-up form, they haven't had a lot of support, regardless of the side of the field that they're on. A much better job. I know it's only been 2 minutes, but since the absence of Pat Marboy stepping out for injury, they're coming for him.
Oh, heavy tackle there. Matt Thompson says play on. And eventually, he did not. Thought he was going to pull it back there. The advantage was gone. Chifamba dispossessed. Kojima, nice pull back and go. Tubbs on it. Back to Mpansa. Niang going to work on Smart. Smart wins that battle. Well, he did it first. Now he's good. There you go.
That's good defending, man. He is. Robin Niang, as quick as his feet are, the junior from Wake Forest, and 8 and goal right there. He's just so crafty. The cutbacks, speed change for a sophomore, and Sean Smart, who has taken so many steps. Mike Noonan says that he can't begin to say and sing the praise enough of Sean Smart and what level he's brought to the field this season. Really good in one-on-one situations tonight.
So is Silla. Good on one-on-one. Tried to go one-on-one with Tubbs. Lost that battle. As we pass under 10 minutes here from Spry Stadium alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff. The 2 top teams preseason picked in the ACC poll. Clemson 1, Wake Forest 2. Wake number 14 in the nation. Clemson struggled early on with a lot of new faces, but it's started to gel. 3 straight wins, including knocking off number 8 Duke last weekend. First time Duke had lost a regular season game since like 1998, it felt like. It's 23 straight regular season games they had unbeaten, but that run had ended. Syracuse's run, not of regular season, overall ended as well. 20 games unbeaten. That was the longest streak in the country for the defending national champs. They lost to Cornell this midweek, the same team that beat them last time, October 4th of last year.
Well, what happened after that? They ran their way unbeaten to a national title.
Yeah, pretty good. You know what?
Don't poke the sleeping bear.
Ian McIntyre will take that in a heartbeat. We'll take a regular season L for that. Kojima on it. Lays it off to Escribano for the big switch to Niang. And he completes it as Smart just kind of misjudged it. His pass is short, though.
Have you ever looked at the record book at unbeaten and how deep it goes, what school it was, and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I guess you're exposing me. No, I have not. Would you like to tell us about it?
Well, Indiana.
What do we got?
46 games.
Jeez. How many years was that?
Oddly enough, it was only 2.
We played a lot of games. Might go deep in the tournament.
1983, 1984. And, you know, some of the historical teams, Indiana in the 80s, St. Louis back in their runs, 69 to 71. UVA have a couple in there with their back-to-back-to-back that they experienced.
Mentioned UVA. They'll be coming up here the second game of our doubleheader. We got a great one for you tonight. UVA taking on Notre Dame here on ACC Network. Notre Dame flying high right now, 15th in the rankings. UVA, a lot of talent, had some tough results, had some good ones. That team got hot last year too. They could do it again. Kane tried to drive it from deep. Isaiah easily checked in for Usman Silla, that last dead ball. See him number 7 in the middle of the park in orange. Meinhardt. And foul on Smart. Actually, as they easily, you have to check in as we show you Smart there, and there's Niang. They've been battling all game. Smart, good young career, trialed with several MLS teams, was part of the U17 U.S. player pool. Dealt with a lot of injuries last year. That's why Mike Noonan was so happy with his progress this year. Kojima. Pass intercepted by Smart. Deflected by Kojima to Swallen. And Chifumba fouls. Chifumba, Columbus Crew product. And Niang goes right to the back of Richmond. And Matt Thompson may have a quick word here. Thompson, 2021 USL Referee of the Year. Telling him right now, because of accumulation, you're going to get a card if you keep it up.
That's frustration by Baba Niang on the backside, and Cindy Paris trying to make a move, and Baba Niang just that arm away from the body. Contact on the lower extremities, but this is Baba Niang. When things don't go his way, it's the mental side that he's got to start to clean up for himself to make sure that psychologically you're sound, you don't drift in and out of games, because the talent's not a question for Baba Niang whatsoever.
Native of Dakar, Senegal, like a number of players on the field. And Richmond came back from an offside position. Wake really hasn't been able to threaten since Boyd got taken out of the game, and Niang gets dragged down by Smart. Is that a bit of a professional foul as he skipped by him?
There was about a 90-second window where they did a really good job of staying high, good pressure, side-to-side movements, and then quick to act. But to your point, everything's faded. This is a lot of what you've seen this half. It's one-offs, it's isolated situations where a Wake Forest player feels like they've got to go and beat one guy. But even if they're getting by it, Clemson shifting over. They've got weak side support. Strong if moved down into the channel.
This may be where Boyd's influence is felt the most. It's these dead ball set pieces. His 6'1" physical frame in there. You already saw him clear one. Swallen or Paris, one of them will take it. It's Paris driven off the wall. Richmond wins the race. Trying to find Silla. Good step by Escobar. Lundegaard under some pressure. There's Potmar boy.
Not the status update that you wanted.
No.
Mike Noonan, shoe off. Not all of his gear off. I would say that I'd probably be more concerned if he had everything off. However, with just a couple of minutes to go in the half, and the fact that he's not in the locker room, a bit surprising.
So now easily subs on 7 and now 13. Jeffrey White, freshman from Tampa. Good youth career as well with the Tampa Bay United. A little time with Tampa Bay Rowdies as well down there. He came on for Baba Niang. Driven ball. Terry Watson's first touch may find Meinhardt an opportunity to transition these guys forward. He's going to give it a ride. Wide. On that note, let's tell you about tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. ACC Huddle Crew will get you ready for the day in Pittsburgh. 60-minute pregame show leading into Army and Syracuse at noon. Then they're back at 6:30 to wrap up the afternoon with highlights and analysis, and to get you set for North Carolina and Pitt at 8 o'clock. After the game, stay right here on ACC Network for a full post-game show and wrap up, of course, highlights of that 12 o'clock Florida State Clemson game on ABC will be discussed at length throughout the day with the Huddle Crew. One of the biggest games in the country between those two. Noon tomorrow. Want to give me your Florida State Clemson breakdown? Oh, I'm sure you got too much to say.
Wouldn't want to take any airtime away from these boys.
Skipped forward. Wallett, good cutback. Tries to thread it through and deflects into the arms of Andema.
Some of the decisions just got to tighten them up. They've got plenty of opportunity here.
What would you rather see them do there?
You got to go to the back post.
Yeah.
And this is the high line of Jeffrey White. He makes the run. And one of the major things that we've heard from a lot of managers, and certainly from these two, is that just fine-tuning themselves 25 yards and in. Now, to be fair, you're 7, 8 games into a season. Like, there's a long way to go here, and they've made tremendous strides already. But when you want to start talking about competing, not for a national title, but when you talk to these guys, to win the ACC conference, with most of these players and managers will tell you is the more difficult thing to do, you got to hone that in. You got to find a way to be better. And again, the good news is the chances are there. You just got to be a little bit smarter when the opportunities present itself. Back post run now.
Marino can't get his head up, runs into a lot of trouble. Turns it, almost turned it over. .40 seconds to go, first half. Pinged out to White. He brings it down, drives it across. Missed clearance by Richmond. They want to foul, they'll get it as clock is winding down. Might be the final action of the half. Your thoughts as we go into the break, 0-0.
Wake's in this game. They're moving back into it, but Clemson has certainly been the better of two squads. I want to see tactically if any changes are made in the absence of Pop Marboy, the freshman center back from Clemson, who had to go out with injury.
Well, we'll find out here after the break. So Pop Marboy is on the bench, and this back line looks slightly different here, as you have Lundegaard, Gibert now in that middle spot, and it looks like potentially Sean Smart as the right center back, who was playing your right midfielder before in this kind of 3-4, 2-1, 3-4-3 setup. There is Pop Marboy alongside Mohamed Say.
Oh.
Two very talented all-league level players, both out injured right now. Say hopeful return later this year, the grad student from Spain, and the freshman Marboy. We will find out as he is on crutches. Don't want to see that. The injury bug has been a problem for this team. And Escobrano skipping forward, looking to release Mitchell. Off the foot of Mitchell for a goal kick. Mitchell trying to get on the board here, second in the country in goals. Back to the feet of Andema. And he's going to go looking long. And What do you got there?
Thank you, Mike Noonan, head coach of Clemson, also doubling as a fourth official on the sideline as you get a look at the substitute, Rebbe Okunlola, freshman out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. I like him. I do. He's got a good head about himself. I mentioned earlier Sidney Paris, the outside left back junior, Canadian player for Wake Forest. There are some similarities in Remy Okunlola's game. He'll play a little bit higher for sure, but the understanding that, you know, he can push the tempo. He's very clean in his decisions.
Tried to pop it into the box, did just that. Didn't find anybody, but so now Smart moves back to the right center back spot. They stay in the 3-back as Jeffrey White runs forward. Mitchell offside. Just straight off. Couldn't hold that run long enough. But Okunlola, he has started 2 matches this year, but they were not of this intensity level on the road against Wake Forest. A little different situation.
Baptism by fire for Remy Okunlola. Welcome to the ACC, and he gets to have fun against a couple of very impressive players for Wake Forest. Vlad Willen on that left-hand side, as well as Sidney Paris we just talked about. Watch the way that Jake Swallen will probably recognize some of that space to pop out of the midfield on the left side. See if he can challenge that space right in between Sean Smart and Okunlola.
For a freshman coming into this game at half like this, is it a bit of ignorance is bliss? Like, how do you think freshmen respond to this?
It's funny because although he's not on the field right now, there's a player for Clemson by the name of Mason Jimenez in the midfield, and he plays deep as a 6. The reason that I like him so much, it actually follows some of the scouting report for Okunlola. You don't really know any better, and so when things are overwhelming, you don't try and do all the fancy stuff. Touch it, play, 1 touch, 2 touch. You're actually a lot cleaner. You see it a lot of times for players coming out of college going to the professional ranks, feeling like they don't have to do a million things to get picked up. Do all the clean things, and the other stuff will follow.
Be simple, be clean, be effective. Escribano on it. Hooks it in, and well done by Smart. Because Swallen had a beat on that one in the back post. And couldn't save the corner. Duquesne. And Swallen is over there with Jeffrey White. They do play it short. Back to Escribano. He clips it in back post. Rise up, still loose. Headed back by Tubbs. Bodies down. And I think there was a high boot in there. And that is Lundegaard. Redshirt sophomore, hard on the deck there from Maryland.
How good is this job by Prince Amponsa, though, from Wake Forest to redirect this thing back across the box? Watch him just drift off the back shoulder right there. To flick it back through. Pardon me. That's from Mitchell. I thought Amponsa was the one who got the flick on it. Little surprised that we didn't see Joseph Ndema come off his line on that second ball back across. It's something that you watch him, always able to make the spectacular, but kind of like the freshman that we talked about before of their level of performance, cleaning up the little things for Ndema. Pretty good with his feet too, but coming off that line, commanding the box in that situation.
Matt Thompson waited for a while, eventually called that foul on Liam O'Gara as he took down Chifamba. I wasn't sure, he got a lot of ball, but I guess going through the man is what Matt Thompson was saying. And Chifamba, Columbus Crew Academy product, is up. Duquesne on the ball. Freshman from Amiens, France.
Go ball.
Okunlola, good control, but then loses his footing. Duquesne wants it on the left flank. They eventually are going to get it to him. Pass easily read by Escribano. Good touch by Mitchell. Well done by Lundegaard. Gets a golf clap from Devin.
Well, not only is it a good tackle, he's doing it on the yellow card against Rold Mitchell. This is
true. He is carrying a yellow.
You walk a fine line there in open space, wide open for Wake to step into. If you get it wrong, everything's downhill.
Nathan Richmond comes back to control. Smart finds Richmond again. And Richmond goes right to the back of Paris. And yellow card issued here. trying to get confirmation.
Richie, two touch. That part of the field, Richie, leave it for up there.
A yellow card has been assessed on Clemson, number 25, Nathan Richmond.
So Richmond gets the yellow at the 52nd minute mark.
Nice tackle.
Underguard up to Meinhard. Striding forward, he's got Kojima riding right to his right there, and Escribano wins the battle shoulder to shoulder. Well done. Wallent. Oh, good move, but lost the ball.
I'll tell you this much, though maybe it hasn't been super clean by the attacking players in the final third. There has been some excellent defending tonight by both teams.
Chifamba brings it back to the right. Bad turnover. Mitchell, big size advantage, was smart, but may find his way to White. Flag stays down. White battling, a lot of contact, and Matt Thompson will give it. And is he saying a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity as he goes to his back pocket? I believe he is. The red card is in hand, and this game is about to change. So Arthur Duquesne tracking back, takes a red. He did not point to the spot, though. So there's a couple different factors here. This can be reviewed now in this new year. Within conference play in the ACC, one of 5 leagues have the exploratory rules. Denial of a goal-scoring opportunity situation, which is what this is. You can review it to make sure it's the proper decision. He also can review to see if the foul occurred inside or outside the box. That was existing from years past. And Matt Thompson is going to the board now as we stop the clock.
It certainly didn't look like that he made any play on the ball whatsoever. Arthur Duquesne just arms away from the body. Again, there's not a tremendous amount of contact, but certainly persistent infringement and from behind. I mean, the idea behind this as a defender is you're trying to impede him. But where's the foul itself occurred? That's got to be the biggest question here for Matt Thompson and his refereeing crew, because it was really close to the top of the box.
The red card issued to Clemson at number 33.
And we're going to take a look at it here. As Mitchell's able to pop it back to Kojima and then spring White. Duquesne tracking back.
Outside the box. He goes down in, but the contact is 4 or 5 yards outside the box, at least where the first infraction occurs. And you can see the arm. He's pulling him down. He's not trying to make a play on the ball.
So you would agree, red card, denial of goal-scoring opportunity, but the ball will be placed outside.
Ball will be outside. You're probably looking at 20 yards or so for a dead ball situation for Wake Forest. Credit, by the way, as they're walking through it, to Rold Mitchell, who does a really good job down in the pocket. He's not able to turn him the first time. Sees Kojima, the quick layoff, and then Kojima, that quick fire option. Remember, coming in, Bobby Muse said he didn't like some of the decisions, nor the quickness of which they were able to play in the first 45 minutes. Rold Mitchell, a couple of touches. Kojima, first touch in, and they're off to the races.
So Matt Thompson now is going to explain the decision, it seems like, to both coaches, Bobby Muse and Mike Noonan. And what is he explaining to them? I will tell you, he is saying, yes, it is going to be confirmed a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity.
It does not continue inside the box. So calling on the field stands, it is a dog sold red for 33 right outside the area.
Trying to listen in there. I'm not sure our mic's picking it up. Denial, but okay, our mic's got it. Good job, everybody. So you heard it there. Denial of goal-scoring opportunity. That stands. Duquesne is dismissed. He will be out of the match, but it is not a penalty. So now we'll see where they place the ball down. There's your spot about 19 yards off the goal line. How Clemson now reacts. They're down Pop Marboy, their starting center back, and maybe best defensive player. Arthur Duquesne, their starting left midfielder. Boyd was out with injury. Duquesne is now dismissed a red card. How they manage this, we will see. But first and foremost, They want to keep this scoreline at 0-0. As Swallen and Paris stand over the free kick.
It's the right decision, and you feel for him, but he's in a spot. A young man, Arthur Duquesne, freshman from France, who's really worked himself into the rotation quite nicely, but didn't have to. He didn't have to pull him down. It just, you want to make sure that you're a constant pressure over the shoulder, but the second you put your hand up, you put yourself in a real predicament, and the referee was there the entire way. It's a great job by the refereeing crew, by the way, to let you hear it and see how the decision plays itself out.
We see Ndema now trying to set up his wall. Who do you like here to take this?
I've heard Jake Swallen wants to have a say about this. I like the right footer because you bring it back across. There's more space to work with, but Sidney Paris on that left peg, he's got a little bit of room on the near post.
Obi Swallen, driven low, deflects. What a save, but not the rebound. And it's Jose Kajima. He helped generate the red card with his through ball, and he's Johnny on the spot to give a 1-0 lead.
It's an incredible follow-up by Jose Kajima. Let's give some credit here to Joseph Ndema in goal for Clemson. What a save it is off his left peg. He just doesn't get any help. It catches a slight defection coming off the right side of that wall, and Kajima just coming back through. The whole point of him in this situation is expecting someone to cough this up. Not a bad strike by Jake Swallen whatsoever, but it's the absolute kiss of death for Clemson, going down to 10 and down 1-0.
The fact that Ndema kept it out to begin with was truly remarkable. And we'll see how Clemson regroups. Now, Mike Noonan talked about possessing the ball, how critical this is. Here's how we ended up here, folks, as Kajima pops it forward. A turnover in a bad spot, but the pass before that that even came to Roll Mitchell's feet was an errant pass that allowed the opportunity to even be created.
Also recognize where that space is. We talked about this in the first half with Lundegaard when he steps and tries to help, whether it's in possession or defensively. If he goes, someone's got to step in behind. Lundegaard comes up. I'm with you. It's the first ball. I get it. Rolled Mitchell, couple touches. Lundegaard tracks with him.
Yeah.
That's where Pop Marboy slides over and challenges the one-on-one situations. Instead, they both go. Lundegaard is high. You don't get the recovery space-wise from Duquesne. He's in for behind, and he's out of the game.
All right, well, let's start with Clemson now as they're down to 10 men. And you see their back line. It looks like they're kind of in a 4-4-1 situation. So what do you do here as a player and as a manager as you assess this?
Well, you have to switch on Smart because you need experience on the outside right now. You got to keep the game in front of you. So Smart's going to come to the left side. It's easy for the two center backs because they're already there. Adam Lundegaard and Kyle Jabert. They're going to be very, very comfortable within that back line because remember, they started this season in a 4 as well. So the question's going to be is Okunlola, how much do they attack a young man who's only got 3 appearances on the season on the right side for Clemson? And then can you find a way transitionally to pick off one opportunity? I mean, that's what you're looking for right now. You're looking a way to get out of here with a draw. So you're going to look for speed. Silla can fulfill that. Nate Richmond can go in there as well. It's going to be flat. It's going to be quick. The question is going to be how many opportunities you're actually going to get because Wake's going to be on the ball a ton now.
It's the Clemson team trying to grow into the season. They went down to Notre Dame, came back after going down 2 goals, tied it up, lost 3-2. They went down to USF last week on the road, came back to win that game 3-2 against a quality USF team. This is different, though. On the road, down 1-0 to Wake and down a man. White, who drew the pen, a freshman from Tampa. Swallen outside of the boot to Prince Ampansa. Dinks it forward. Poor clearance. Okunlola battling Walent. Sidney Paris on the ball. And as you mentioned in transition, Clemson can't get forward. Again, set pieces could be a huge factor in this game, a huge issue for Wake all year. 7 of their 8 goals allowed are off set pieces, and sometimes that's how you get back into a game when you're down a goal and down a man. Paris tries to combine with Mitchell, couldn't quite turn. Demon Deacon fans coming alive.
Here's the other problem for Clemson. The fans are awake.
Yeah.
It took them the better portion of 55 minutes to get going here, but you get the home crowd behind you. This is one of the best environments in college soccer when they want to be. It's been a little bit quiet here tonight, but being on the ball with the lead, expect them to be a lot more vocal and will this team to victory.
Paris goes down, no call, battling, and eventually foul called on him. Richmond draws it. And as Matt Thompson stops the game, we'll tell you about women's sports that take over every afternoon here, every Sunday afternoon here on ACC Network. And this week we start noon Eastern with soccer, 16 Duke against number 22 UVA. Then it's volleyball doubleheader. Florida State hosts Duke, and we cap off the afternoon 5th-ranked Louisville and NC State in Raleigh at 4 Eastern. Louisville looking to get back to the Final Four as they did last year. Silla goes down, no call is made, and now it is. Draws a cheap one, and this is part of what Bobby Muse said too. We can limit fouls around the box. That helps our set piece issues, but gives a chance to get these bodies forward for the Tigers.
Speaking of basketball Final Fours, can we talk about the facilities we got a tour of earlier today?
Woo. Yes, Wake Forest.
School's a little different now.
In the last couple of years, Wake Forest has brought the heat across all their sports. Beautiful facilities. I know Clemson fans watching know quite a bit about that as well. Great setup here for all their sports.
They had a little shoot around going. I'm told by their assistant Dan Brenner that they've got a nice little game going. Dan actually won today. All the coaches matched up against each other about an hour and a half before game. Waste some time. Let's pass some time.
And some energy, some mental and physical energy expended there to relax as Silla gets ready to take it. Thompson adjusts the wall and makes sure that there's Okunlola going on the right side. Clipped in just over the head of Gibert. That was close to being a chance there.
He's right there. Oh, just impedes him a touch. And Adam Lundegaard, to be fair to him, this is a really difficult ball to get on the end of.
So Enrique Montana, the third, checks in, and any Clemson fan knows him well. He has played for us, this is now his 46th match in a Tigers uniform. Last year started a lot as an outside back for this team. So again, he'll replace Okunlola, so more experience in there now at that right back spot as he's played in ACC championship games in terms of the tournament. He's played in NCAA tournament games. This redshirt senior from Washington. So if you're Wake, how do you want to manage and see out this game?
Step on the ball, make them chase. You just move it side to side. There's good direction from Mike Noonan on the sideline for Clemson. He's saying, just stay in your block. You don't have to go. You only go when it's absolutely necessary and you feel like the percentage is on your side that you can go and win a challenge. But otherwise, just keep the game. Because certainly time is going to come off the clock, but it's a lot easier to keep it there than to chase balls and things sprayed in behind your back line.
Lundegaard was clipped there by Mitchell, and Matt Thompson was going to let Ndema play, but he gave it away, so they pulled it back. So Sean Smart goes back to his right back spot. Enrique Montano will be on that left spot, but now maybe an opportunity here. Poor pass. Silla trying to find the feet of Meinhard, and Meinhard will get there. Not going to get a pass Escribano, though. Swollen drives it out to White, who can't bring it under his belt.
I think his knee's okay.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
Little half turn by Jake Swollen, and all of a sudden off to the races on the right flank for Wake Forest. And Jeffrey White.
There's Swollen, the redshirt senior from Minnesota. Family of ballers. His dad played 12 years in the USL. His mom played at College of St. Benedict. So we passed under 29 minutes.
We were discussing how many players were back for this Wake Forest team. It's not something we're accustomed to seeing, because all of the success that they create, individuals start to capitalize on it in the best of ways. They go to the draft, they go pro.
Yeah.
And Jake Swollen, though, he's part of that 19 team that went to the College Cup. Yeah. And it wasn't for lack of trying that he didn't break into the lineup. They were just that talented. They were a very good team. Kyle Holcomb in the 9. You had Bruno Lapa, who played in the 10.
The Brazilian, the center, yeah.
ACC midfielder of the year.
Calvin Harris breaking into the group. And played out. 28 minutes to go here from Spry Stadium alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Dallin Cuff. 1-0. Home team took the lead just minutes ago. 53rd minute of action. Jose Kajima on a rebound on a free kick. The big note and why that free kick was created. Arthur Duquesne, the freshman from France, was red carded for a denial of a goal scoring opportunity right outside the box. Set up a free kick, and the Demon Deacons capitalized. Waiting for a couple subs. Now it looks like Matt Thompson's going to go take a look at something.
Thank you, Bobby.
So referees can look at disciplinary matters, timing issue, trying to get word on what this may be. He's looking at what went on the sideline. He believes there may have been some extracurriculars, so he wants to take a peek here. Bobby Muse would like to get on with it, I imagine.
I don't know what gave you that impression.
I have no clue. I'm a body language expert, actually. That's why.
He's still rocking the fresh kicks, though.
As always.
He's never lacking for shoe collection, is it? Bobby Muse, head coach of Wake Forest.
He was looking for some violent contact. There was nothing there. With the review, we are going to play on. Here's what he was checking out, apparently, with Mullen and Smart. It's an aggressive tackle.
Here's the interesting thing. One, remember that you don't have to make contact. It can be intent. Yeah. So I can understand where that's coming from. The other side is, if you're saying there's no contact, and this is the argument by Bobby Muse on Sean Smart, then it's simulation. So what message are we sending here at this point in time? And I'm not lobbying for the young man to be thrown out, let's be clear, and we only have one angle. Yeah. But that's the argument coming from Bobby Muse of Wake Forest.
A couple subs there. Leo Guarino, the sophomore from East Rockaway, New York, checks back in. And Camilo Ponce, the sophomore from New York as well. Amityville makes his first trip in here. BC transfer Ponce is. First time joining the fray, his 7th appearance of the season. Comes in for Jeff White. Swollen, nice little pocket of space. Charging forward. Finding O'Gara. Kajima, the goal scorer.
Good ball.
Areno.
First touch again, just got to be in front of him. Again, these little movements, right? Start to separate the good from the great. And that's what we talked about coming in for Wake Forest. Guys like Gold Mitchell, who He's got 19 career goals, only 3 versus ACC opponents. That's the level of competition. And so what you can get away with against some teams, you can't do it when you get into ACC play, and certainly not against a squad like Clemson that is good enough defensively, let alone battening down the hatches, trying to shut that space down. Touch has got to be cleaner.
Working our way up to another great doubleheader here in ACC men's soccer on the network. UVA on the road at Notre Dame. That game coming your way. Joe Amalfa and Mike LaHood. Joe Amalfa and Mike LaHood will be on the call as soon as things end here. Notre Dame 15th in the country. UVA, it's been up and down, but they have talent to say the least. And remember last year they got in their groove right around now, late September. Ended up charging up into near the top of the standings in the ACC. Really should have beat Syracuse. They're up 2-1 at Syracuse in the ACC semifinal.
We could have a very different conversation about an unbeaten run and a national champion, if not for Ian McIntyre, the Syracuse Orange. 86-minute mark.
Lorenzo Baselli scored in that match against UVA to equalize. They would go on to win. And one of the coolest scenes in college soccer last year, where the fans at Syracuse rushed the field. It was like it was the Carrier Dome, or JMA Wireless Dome now, I guess, if you will. Very cool situation. Now, a chance to serve the box here, maybe, for Clemson. They've got bodies forward. Matt Thompson saying you can play whenever you're ready. Richmond drives it in. Lundegaard keeps it in. Oh, and Tubbs. There will be no call. Ball's still in play, though. Now some extracurriculars afterwards. Oh, turned over. Opportunity out. It stands tall. I don't know how the ball stayed in.
Has it not a foul? Yeah, the ball not go out of bounds? I was with you. I thought there was contact, and it looked like it crossed the end line.
Let's take a look at what happened here.
Credit to Adam Lundegaard. He gets the first touch there. He's out. Steps in front. That ball's out 100%. Who got the last touch on it? Garrison Tubbs feels like it came off of Lundegaard. But again, Lundegaard head up and just kept going.
The ball was out for, I know we were going to slow-mo there, but that ball was out for a while. And
an eternity of 60 seconds. No.
Yeah, well, yeah. And the far AR, Drew Carr, made no call. Matt Thompson, the center official, no call, as we have a couple subs here. Vlad Wallent's going to get out of the way for Jelani Forbes right now. Forbes, a senior, comes back in from Orlando City SC Academy product. Fell right to the feet of Alex Meinhard.
Oh, what a save. I mean, to be fair, it's right at the goalkeeper, but still point blank, 10 yards out. With all the riffraff that was in front of you.
Oh, might be appeals for a handball there. Ball popped up. Wake Forest cannot get it out right now. Tyler Trimnell checked in the match. He scored 2 of the last 3 games. He's in the middle of the box now, 17 in orange. ISO reverse pass by Chief Famba. Richmond drives it in, headed out by Tubbs. Enrique Montana on it. And trying to pops it up to Richmond. He tries to hook it back into the box. He does. Gibet kept it in, and Montana looking for some help. Clemson looking like the team with 11 men right now, at least for a few minutes. This is the tempo Wake Forest would prefer right now.
Tempo I prefer too. Settle things down, and
I want the fracas we just saw. Let's go.
Gotta hydrate. 23 minutes to go.
For you? Doing a lot of work up here. That's Devin Kerr. I'm Dallin Cuff, former center back and professional player in Europe. Needs to hydrate from broadcasting. So are you content at some point? This is like playing, you know, they're just playing catch. why even make this advanced pass? And now it's a turnover, an opportunity now for Clemson to break out the other way. Good step by Tubbs, takes out Chifamba.
Keep going.
Throws it forward to Trimnell. Smart stepping onto it. Still Smart. Eventually crowded out. They will pull it back and give a free kick in a dangerous area.
Well, he's going to talk his way into a yellow card as well, Garrison Tubbs. It started about 40 yards back there, and that's the argument here, to be fair, by Matt Thompson, where that initial infraction just inside the center circle, Matt Thompson allowed the Clemson Tigers to play on, and that's why he's going to give him a card. There certainly is more contact about 25 yards out or so. That was a bit surprising to me, because the card itself was for the one in behind just prior. Great job by Smart. Look at the footwork. Just inside, outside. I'm not sure there's a lot on that. Well, that's one way to go about it.
Let's make this dangerous here. Silla is very good on dead ball situations. Tubbs goes into the book, second team All-ACC player last year. Silla has been part of an All-ACC teams all 3 years prior. 2020 was All-ACC freshman team, second team year after, first team last year. One of the more dynamic players in the country. Alfin, who just made a save a few minutes ago, may be asked to stand tall again. Silla over it.
Oh, he's got Lundegaard on the back post too if he wants to get clever against Sidney Paris.
Lundegaard maybe in an offside spot now. Might check his run back and get back in there. We'll see. Silla goes for goal wide. Great week 4 in ACC Network football. We got a good lineup for you. Starts tomorrow at noon Eastern with Syracuse hosting Army. Then BC squares off against Louisville. We'll cap the night at number 17, North Carolina, on the road at Pitt, 8 o'clock Eastern. All 3 games also available in the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Clemson, Florida State, also noon on ABC. Huge game in the conference. Isaiah Easley, number 7, checks in for Usman Silla. Can't imagine he's going to be on the bench very long. Cooper Flax back in the fray for Jake Swallen.
Special thanks to Mike Noonan and the Clemson Tigers, standing nice and close to the field. Mike, he's doing such a good job with these kids. Seriously, that the information that he's spewing out to them, it's always right on point, giving them great direction down to 10 men right now. And the same thing in the first half when they were at 11.
Richmond try to get going, turn it over, but Gibe is there. Chifamba goes down and will get the foul on O'Gara. Montana wanted to play it out wide to that left flank. You saw it, Devin, but nobody on the field did, other than Enrique. That doesn't help. Lundegaard striding forward. He'll make the big switch the other way this time. Trimnell, good control, and Paris.
This is what you need, though. Coming off the back line, driving, trying to bring players with you. Smart by Wake Forest, though. They didn't take it. They didn't try and step up in it and compromise their shape. And so that's what you're going to see. If you're not willing to come, you're going to have to continue to go as a Clemson player and beat someone, or it's going to be direct up over the top, at least when you're compressed this deep into the field.
Smart. Smart.
Clever.
Well done by Impanza, but his clearance is deflected by his teammates. And O'Gara is going to get it out there for a throw.
It is very impressive, the footwork that we've seen from Smart tonight. It's something that, in the course of the season so far, Sean Smart, the sophomore from Clemson, hasn't really had to chase because of all the talent in front of him and the way that they try and play, which is 100 miles an hour, end-to-end transition. Again, down to 10 men. The game presents itself in a different fashion. So, as mentioned, coming into the second half down, the way to break it down, and certainly going down to 10 men, it's going to be one-on-one situations that you don't know how many you're going to get, and how special can you be in that moment.
Smart trying to prove he can do it. pass shorted out by Easley to Montana. Compare the back lines of Clemson's been all over the map because of injuries, now red card, formation changes. Whereas Wake Forest, since Bo Cummins has come out, it's been the same 4 guys back there, which would you argue this is their best back 4 with Chris Escribano, Tubbs, and Ponsa and Paris?
I would say that in theory, the ceiling from Bo Cummins is higher than Escribano, but the difference is there's just such an even keel about Escribano that, again, when you watch him touch, play, he doesn't try and get too fancy with it. Now, he doesn't have as much athleticism as Bo Cummins does, so that explosion that you'll get up on the right-hand flank is going to be, it's going to put more pressure on guys like Vlad Willand, Camilo Ponce, Colin Thomas, depending on who's over there. But if you look at just the regularity of what you're going to get out of them, it has to be. And Bobby Muse said coming in tonight that we're going to allow Bo Cummins to chase this a little bit and give him the ability to show us that he can play against this Clemson team. It's just, he started really strong this year, but unfortunately for them has slowly faded. Still a really good depth piece, but it also pushes an individual to chase. When you get knocked off your starting position, mentally, it makes you drive yourself to some really positive places and continue your development.
Easily onside. Tubbs wants the flag's not going to get there. Escribano recovers. The Hawaiian native back to Gibet, the Frenchman who just misplayed it. Ponce. Kajima, the goal scorer, drives it out to Jelani Forbes. Forbes now trying to cut it on the right foot. Turned over. Gibet, smart. Finds Chifamba. He's able to get on the turn. Triumvirate of subs waiting for the Tigers in orange. And Dama off the claim. So we're under 16 minutes here. Down a goal, down a man. Foul called there. Richmond wants a quick restart. Kajima on the way, and Matt Thompson says, come on, man. I'm not going to give you that yellow. I'll give you that easy yellow. Is there a point when you're down a goal, down a man, that you do throw caution to the wind, and what would that look like? If you're
Mike, the bigger question right now, because you don't have the height up top, right? That's number one. You're lacking the communication on the back line that has allowed you to transition the way that you want to. You're down to 10 men. To me, I'm just a bit surprised because we've seen a little bit on that right-hand side with Tyler Trimnell, a couple of diagonals that have gone that way, just like that. And then quickly, one touchdown, sprayed in, and allow someone to run onto it. The second you slow down like this, Wake Forest gets behind the ball.
And here come those 3 subs. But to your point, I mean, Trimnell's got it there. Put it off your chest, get it in there. And Silla's coming back on. Take a look at the highlights as these subs are made.
Clemson Tigers trying to play out of the back. It goes horribly wrong. Credit to Rold Mitchell up top. Holds it. Kajima in through. Taken down from behind by Arthur Duquesne. He's shown a red card for his services. Jake Swallen tries to pick out the far post. And after the incredible save by the goalkeeper and Dama, good follow-up by Kajima. We still sit at 1-0.
In swinging ball, bounces around, bodies go down. And easily Challenge pops it back in there. Richmond's able to drive it. Hust wide. And now there's appeals for a penalty from earlier in the play as Gibet is down now. The Oregon State transfer, last year's player of the year in the Pac-12. Valence France is down. Mike Noonan's got to be like, he can't be hurt. This can't keep happening. He may just be slow to get up as Matt Thompson, the official, helps him up. Take a look what happened early in the. Well, this is the shot on goal.
It's his ankle, his right foot. Just standing ground right in front of him. Prince Mponsa.
Terry Watson checked in for Enrique Montana as well. Richmond wins the battle. Colin Thomas comes in for Camilo Ponce for Wake. And Meinhardt's able to turn, and the foul easily called there on Escribano. Pulled him down. Quick restart. Drilled out to Sean Smart. 1v1 with Paris. It's been a good battle all day. Silla lets it go right into the hands of Alfred.
Keep chasing here. And Wake Forest is just on cruise control right now. They're not going to push the envelope unless necessary.
And appeals for handball when he picked it off. Not going to get it. Easley's on it. Meinhardt didn't check back. If you are tuning in looking to see UVA on the road to Notre Dame, you can get that on the ESPN app right now. They're getting underway in South Bend in just a few minutes. Here in Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons are up 1-0 over Clemson. 53rd minute goal by Jose Kajima. Arthur Duquesne took a red card. The play before that would led to the free kick, which Kajima converted off a rebound. And that's where we stand. Wake Forest, in the last 10 minutes, though, has been looking like the team playing with 10 men. As Clemson's generated more opportunities and to be a little more comfortable in the match. In terms of other games as well, Pitt, ending in the first half, up on the road at the defending national champ Syracuse, who coming off the first loss they've had exactly since October 4th of last year. They lost to Cornell 2-1 midweek. Abdoulaye Touré opened the scoring. Lorenzo Baselli for Syracuse equalized, and then Luis Samkow. Great to see Samkow back healthy. Scores a goal. Puts the Panthers up 2-1, who did beat this Wake team 3-0 at home in Pittsburgh, and then followed up an ACC play with a 0-0 draw against BC in their last outing in the conference.
Samkow's got the best scoring average in the country. 6 goals, 6 games now. Goal per game average is not the worst.
Oh, shot saved by Alfred. He's been asked to stand up a couple times in the second half, and he's done just that.
Watch him track this thing, too, because where the ball's located, Ousmane Silla, great first touch. It allows him to bring this thing and hit a stinger up, and just watch it knuckle, too. Great save. Trace Alfin has to reach back for this thing, because he's expecting it to continue to drift into that upper corner. But that's a little knuckleball. Great move by Silla, and he puts on it. Alfin just reaches back and parries it aside.
This match is far from over. In-swinging ball. Silla's able to scoop it up. Goes through a lot of contact. No call. Smart striding forward, loses control. Flax tries to dink it by, but it goes out. And just as we gave you the score, Syracuse is equalized. 2-2. Gavin Wigg, the big center back, puts in the back of the net. And they are at 2-2 in the first 45. That is going to be an outstanding final 45 in the Berg. And of course, a great UVA Notre Dame game coming up here on the network as soon as we're done. But 8 minutes and 12 seconds seems like a long way right now, given the saves that Trace Alford has had to make and the opportunities that Clemson's created down a goal and down a man in the last 10 or 15 minutes. Jeffrey White, who drew the penalty, is able to flick it forward, but Gibert gets back on it. Underguard, well done. Richmond's touch was poor. Turned over again. Making some bad turnovers in bad areas Wake Forest team has done in the last 10 minutes. Allowing the Tigers to get forward. Seem like unforced errors.
To be fair, we've seen it all game.
Yeah.
And the difference is there's a level of intensity right now for Syracuse because they recognize
Clemson,
yeah,
orange.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm in your head.
Looking at the 2-2, that's right. That not only are they chasing the Phantom Man being down to 10 after the red card to Arthur Duquesne, but they're chasing the clock.
Under 7 minutes now. Wake Forest looking for their first victory in ACC play this year.
Interesting how they've changed, though. Clemson have gone to the back five now, and they've kind of boxed the midfield, so they're asking the two strikers to jump out when they press and chase the wide balls, but you allow Silla underneath and Gibert to try and work off that relationship with each other, so it cuts out the center balls. You force more of the game to the outside, but you also have numbers higher up on the pitch, which is why you're starting to see more opportunities come for the visitors.
All right, so Bo Cummins comes in now for Sidney Paris, and that'll flip Christian Escribano, number 19, to the left back spot. And Cummins comes into your right back spot. While we go to the throw-in, let's tell you about Nothing But Net. Hoop season right around the corner, Tuesday night. The Nothing But Net crew will look at every ACC school's upcoming basketball schedule. It tips off Monday, November 6th. They'll break down the women from 7 to 8 Eastern and the men from 8 to 9 Eastern, only here on ACC Network and, of course, on the ESPN app. Done by Forbes. Still Forbes. Precious time ticking away for the Tigers. The Demon Deacons fans enjoying this slower pace in the last 90 seconds. Kojima. Cummins will slow it down.
It's frustration there by Mike Noonan. He wants him to chase, and that's exactly what you don't want, is them coming down the middle.
Here's down the middle. The goal scorer Kojima onto his left peg. Almost made it 2. Just wide.
The whole idea behind this shape for Clemson is to push Wake Forest to the outside or push them into spaces where you have coverage. The second you let them come down the middle, well, now everybody's scrambling to try and chase the player that's on the ball. And now it ends up with Kojima, but that started well before the center circle, and you can hear some of the frustration by Mike Noonan right now. He talked about coming in, time for them to take a step. Down to 10 men or not, this is something that, it's a character thing. It's going to make you guys band together in that locker room and say, listen, it's not always going to be roses and perfume and chocolates, right? We're going to have to chase games, and why not do it down a man on the road against Wake Forest?
There's see the athleticism of Cummins, just easily won that race with easily. Underguard on a yellow, battling with Mitchell. Good turn by Gibert to not play it negatively. Now stride into the midfield. Out to Richmond. He tries to hook it in. And just under 4 minutes to go. We've seen dramatics here as Richmond goes in hard on a yellow. Well done. In our past 2 weeks games, both ACC games, Syracuse was equalized on Louisville at the death. And then the following week, Virginia Tech won the game 2-1. And no deflection out for a goal kick. Won with just a minute or two to go last week. So hold tight. Devin and I have been pretty good luck so far here in ACC play.
Get a raise for that?
No compensation. More fun though.
100%.
Bobby Buse does not want that. He doesn't want any of that.
Oh, he's going to hear this, and we're immediately uninvited from. Forget Christmas dinner. We won't make it out the building tonight.
Oh, that goal kick took 50 seconds, so that's got to make him somewhat happy. Silla trying to get it on the half turn. Just kind of flicks it over his head. Tubbs attacks. Terry Watson plays it forward. Gibet. Silla in some space. Getting to run forward, and Meinhardt couldn't control it. Not cleared well. Just over 2:30 to go. Gibert slips.
Well done. Good
Gets
tackle.
back up. Got a man on, doesn't notice it. Forbes is there. Smart. Tip of the shoulder. Trying to get end line. Out for a corner. I'm a broken record, but 78 goals given up this year by Wake Forest on set pieces.
Corner kick upcoming for Syracuse.
Richmond trots over to take.
Taken by number 25, Nathan Richmond.
Crowd coming to life here. Headed out by Forbes, but it's not out of danger. Richmond will put it back in. Flipped around, and Alfin lets it roll. .90 seconds to go. Wake Forest looking to avenge last year's loss here at Spry Stadium to this Clemson team in the ACC tournament semifinal. They fell 2-0. Looking to expand on their series history lead, 25-21-8. Would move to 26-21-8 in Wake's favor. Two of the best programs in the country.
If we've learned anything tonight, not just about this game, but about scores around this conference, it's the level of competition in the ACC, and we reach times where there are no favorites, and they are so good. You know, something that both coaches talked about is, as the landscape changes, maybe the ceiling changes, but the floor certainly does, because it comes higher, and you lose some of these guys that normally would have been 3-4-year blue chip players to the professional ranks, but the academy players, the development. It's been a great game tonight between Wake and Clemson.
Played back to Ndema, 20 seconds. Keeper charges forward now. Got to be a little route one here. Get as many men forward and play it forward. Almost falls to Silla. It does. He's going for a handball. Thompson. Oh, Thompson not going to call.
7, 6, 5, 4.
And that's essentially going to end it. Ndema going for goal from back here. And that's it. Wake Forest gets their first 3 points of the year. We'll take a quick look at the appeal for handball before we go away. Doesn't matter.